Maison front, and it shows you up there. And it was saying it was a very traditional Jewish wedding, and it's ideas for Jewish couples that are looking for ideas for how to do their wedding. And this is some event planner person put it on.
Yeah.
And there's one that's Puerto Rican, there's one in New York, there's one in
Oh, how
this is Shreveport,
fun.
Louisiana.
Ah! Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I have a doctoral degree. You're not going to like the end of this sentence now. That's exactly it. But now you're not going to like the end of my sentence at all. I'm not even going to go. I'm changing everything I'm going to talk about right now. I have a doctoral degree in linguistics. I love language. I love words, although words apparently don't love me back all the time. And so I wanted to tell you some things about words today, because words have impact. So you see, that's what I'm talking about. That's impact. It's impact, and I'm glad to hear that. So don't groan when I say this, please. The Torah portion, okay, good. The Torah portion this week is called Shoftim. Yeah, okay. Which has to do with, the translation for Shoftim is judges. And the first words are Shoftim v'Shotrim, which has to do with judges and officers. And the modern Hebrew word for an officer is a police officer, is shoter, shotrim, are officers. And it could be officers of the court, and it could be officers. So I wanted to, little things. We went, religious school starting this Sunday, and the kids know that we like to do what I call Hebrew detectives, that we look for Hebrew insights everywhere. And so, a little bit. So, shofet, I think it's kind of interesting that the word shofet is related, not surprisingly, to mishpat. Mishpat is a sentence, like the judge will sentence someone, but just like it's the same word in English for this part of speech that's a sentence, the word in Hebrew for sentence, whether it's a judge sentencing or the part of speech, is mishpat. I think that's interesting. I'm not sure why that connection would continue like that. So I thought about that, and I thought about what it is that a judge does, because I'd like to talk about that a little bit later. And obviously, in this case, the word that they're using for judge has to do with more about the sentencing than about the making judgments. And I'm not sure that you see that there's a difference between those, but all of a sudden I realized that there was a difference, because there are two words for judge in Hebrew, at least two. One is shofet, which has to do with the one who sentences you. And the other one is dayan, like Moshe Dayan, you've heard of him, and that's a judge. So I'm going to talk more about the dayan kind of judge, because we're in Elul, and it's more that kind of a judging judge than the sentencing judge. And did you ever think about that? There's two kinds of things that a judge does. One is they see where the justice is, and the other is they have to sentence people for it. So we're talking about sentences. We have mishpatim. So here's the one. I'm glad David is here, because he's going to laugh the loudest, I promise, for my next one. Nothing up my sleeves. The word shoter for officer. So what do you think it's related to? I decided it must be related to shooter. No. The one who's authorized to, right? Thank you. Okay. No. Shooter? Shoter? No. I have this great, you liked it? Okay, no laughing. I have a wonderful book called The Word. That's a whole dictionary that's filled with things like that that are what they claim to have Hebrew roots to English words. So that's one, I don't know if it's in there or not, but it should be, that shoter is the one who's authorized to do the shooting. And protecting, and make them the officers. So the first thing we obviously have to do today is take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. Try it again. Let it out slowly. The wonderful thing about Shabbat is that it truly is an oasis in time. We get to suspend everything else that goes on when we remember to step into the Shabbat moment. And it's a really awesome thing. My son, Ron, is about to start college again on Monday, and he was in a job this summer that he loved. It had to do with computer programming. But in order for him to do the kind of job that he thought he had to, he would just work his tuchus off. And he would work all day, all night. I don't know where he gets that from. And it's ironic, because that's a ironic word when his name is Ron. But it was ironic that Friday morning he would absolutely crash. He could barely move and barely breathe by Friday morning. And it would take him until Saturday night before he could recuperate again. And then he was back to his happy self again. But just about every week, right on schedule, he was crashing for Friday and back on Saturday. We need these things. If humans wrote these laws, I don't think they would have come up with Shabbat every week. And I'm so glad that God thought of this and gave it to us. So we are going to welcome Shabbat by seeing the light and seeing the joy. We are in service 3 again, page 82. I invite you to please rise if you're capable. And if not, we ask you to rise in spirit. And our tradition over the summer is that you are all designated as our honored blessers. So please join with me on page 82. These lights are only flickering flames, yet flames illumine our uncertain steps. Flames remind us of Sabbaths long past, and of their beauty that delighted our hearts. May they inspire us to work for the great Sabbath of peace. You're welcome to read in English. I'm going to chant in Hebrew. Do it as you want. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. And you open your eyes and you know that it's Shabbat. You see that light. And it's a really dancing. I love that. We now turn to pages 165 if you want to see the Hebrew, 166 and 7 if you want to see the transliteration, and 167 if you want to see the English, whichever one you want to do. Wine is a symbol of joy. We say every Saturday morning, wine is a symbol of joy, of human joy, and grape juice is a symbol of wine. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uv'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila l'mikra'e kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzrayim ki vanu v'acharta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava ratzon hinchatanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat l'chaim. You may be seated. Please say Shabbat Shalom to someone you came in with and someone you didn't come in with. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. We go all the way back again to service 3. We continue at the bottom of page 83. There are days when we seek material things and measure failure by what we do not own.
On Shabbat, we wish not to acquire, but to share.
There are days when we exploit nature with reckless greed.
On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation.
This was a good week for the mystery of creation because the sky did something I forgot it knew how to do. There was a mystery there. 42 days, it went beyond biblical proportions here. 43 days, I guess, before it rained. There are days when we think only of ourselves.
On Shabbat, we open our hearts to the needs of others.
Therefore, we welcome Shabbat.
Day of joy, day of peace.
And if you think about it very carefully, if you close your eyes maybe, if you feel it, we're welcoming the angels too. Here they come. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The synagogue is the sanctuary of Israel. Born of our longing for the living God, it has been to Israel throughout our wanderings a visible token of the presence of God in our people's midst. Its beauty is the beauty of holiness. Steadfast it has stood as the champion of justice, mercy, and peace.
Its truths are true for all people. Its love is a love for all people. Its God is the God of all people. As it has been said, my house shall be called a house of prayer for all people.
Let all the family of Israel, all who hunger for righteousness, all who seek the eternal, find God here, and here find life. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי, וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון, ובחיי בכל בית ישראל, בעגלה, בעגלה, ובזמן קריב, ומירו, אמן. יהא שמי רבה מברך, לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמך דקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה. תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה, ואמרו אמן. ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך, לעולם ועד. Oh God, How can we know you? Where can we find you? You are as close to us as breathing, yet you are farther than the farthermost star. You are as mysterious as the vast solitudes of night, yet as familiar to us as the light of the sun. To Moses you said, "You cannot see my face, but I will make all my goodness pass before you." Even so does your goodness pass before us in the realm of nature and in the joys and sorrows of life.
When justice burns within us like a flaming fire, when love evokes willing sacrifice from us, when to the last full measure of selfless devotion we demonstrate our belief in the ultimate triumph of truth and righteousness, then your goodness enters our lives and we can begin to change the world. And then you live within our hearts, and we through righteousness behold your presence. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Kevod malchuto leolam vaed. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. You shall love your eternal God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your being. Set these words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be symbols before your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them. So shall you consecrate yourselves to your God. I am your eternal God, who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I am your eternal God. I, the Eternal One, have called you to righteousness and taken you by the hand and kept you. I have made you a covenant people, a light to the nations. Between God and God's children.
This is the covenant I make with Israel. I will place my Torah in your midst and write it upon your hearts. I will be your God, and you shall be my people.
We are Israel. Our Torah forbids the worship of race or nation, possession, and power.
You who worship gods that cannot save you, hear the words of the Eternal One. I am God, there is none else.
We are Israel. Our prophets proclaimed an exalted vision for the world.
Hate evil and love what is good. Let justice well up as waters and righteousness as a mighty stream.
We are Israel, schooled in the suffering of the oppressed.
Justice, by the way, is mishpat there. You shall not oppress your neighbors nor rob them. You shall not stand idle while your neighbor bleeds.
We are Israel, taught to beat swords into plowshares, commanded to pursue peace.
Violence shall no longer be heard in your land, desolation and destruction within your borders. All your children will be taught of your God, and great shall be the peace of your children.
We are Israel, O God, when we are witnesses to your love and messengers of your truth.
You are my witnesses, says the Eternal One, and my servant whom I have chosen. Know me, therefore, and put your trust in me.
We are Israel, O God, when we proclaim you, God our Redeemer, as did our ancestors on the shores of the Red Sea. Shema Yisrael.
Mi chamocha?
Adon.
Mi chamocha?
Oh, I'm sorry. Hello.
That's good. I like
there.
that, because that means, you're standing at the shore of the sea and you're so excited that you blurt something. Only you're ahead of your time because there was no Shema yet. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osefele, nora tehilot osefele, malechutecha ra'u vanecha bokei ayam lifnei Moshe zelianu ve'ameru Adonai imloch Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. We praise you, O God, Redeemer of Israel. May we lie down this night in peace and rise up to life renewed. O God, spread over us your shelter of peace, of quiet and calm, and bless us with rest. And let a time come when morning will bring no word of war or famine or anguish, a time of happiness, of contentment and rest. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu va'al kol amo Yisrael, va'al Yerushalayim. We give thanks for the night and its rest, and the promise of peace for all the world. Vishameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledotam berit olam. Beni uven b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Vishameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Vishameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam. U'vayom hashvivi Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Vishameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam. Please rise for the tefillah, which begins on page 93. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, ve'Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, ve'Konei Hakol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. God of all generations, of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, of Sarah, Rebekah, Leah, and Rachel, be praised. Your wondrous creative power fills heaven and earth.
God of life and death, be praised. Through us, send help to the falling, healing to the sick, freedom to the captive. Confirm your faithfulness to those who sleep in the dust.
Awesome and holy God, be praised. With acts of love and truth we hallow your name. As it is said, be holy, for I, your eternal God, am holy.
God of times and seasons, be praised. Enable us through Sabbath rest to explore and learn and impart the meanings of your Torah. Make our hearts ready to serve you this day and all days.
God, who answers prayer, be praised. May we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer, wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands, you are our God.
So, you are the miracle within all we behold. You are goodness. You are compassion. We give thanks to you forever.
God of peace, of justice, and of love, be praised. Inspire us to banish forever hatred, war, and bloodshed. Help us to establish forever one human family united in peace. God of peace, bless us, bless you with peace.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lekol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'necha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
You may not have come here knowing what you wanted to say to God, but now is a really good time to take a moment and figure it out. You have a moment now of silent meditation. words of my mouth,
Imre fi ve'egion libi,
and the meditations of my heart
lefanecha,
be acceptable to you.
Lefanecha,
Be acceptable to you.
Adonai Tzuri,
God, my rock,
Tzuri ve'goli,
my rock and my redeemer.
Adonai Tzuri,
God, my rock
ve'goli,
and redeemer. Amen. I love when Virginia's here. I panic when you don't come on time. It was a panic day today. No, I'm so glad you're here. I love your voice. At this time in our service, our hearts and our prayers turn to those who are ill or recuperating as we turn to the inside back cover of our prayer book. If you have someone for whom you would like us to say the prayer, include in our prayers, I invite you to call out the names.
Sister Mary Jones, Christina.
For all these names, for the names we choose to hold in our hearts and not say out loud, we pray together. Oh God, in our hearts we name those who are facing illness and pain. We join our prayers with the prayers of all who love them. Give them renewed comfort and courage. Strengthen in them the healing powers you have placed within us all. Guide the hands and hearts of those who are entrusted with their care. May the knowledge of your love and ours give added hope to them and to their dear ones. May they find even greater strength because our prayers are linked to theirs. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofeh HaCholim. We praise you, eternal God, the source of healing and hope. Mi sheberach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. And we add, Misheberach avotenu v'imotenu, may the one who blessed and protected our ancestors guard all those whom we've entrusted with the responsibility of defending our freedom and protecting us in this country, in the land of Israel, and everywhere they've been called to serve. May they return home safely, and let us say,
Amen.
So, words. Bodies often heal, and words often don't. When sometimes words are used, it's hard to heal from words sometimes. And we're not always good at saying things, especially at difficult times. Like when we're tired and cranky. We don't know what words to use. You see? I want you to hear these words that I think in some ways are connected to the Torah portion name that I alluded to before. The name is Shoftim, which is judges. But I told you there's another word for judge. The other word for judge is Dayan. So you know Dayan. You know that there's a blessing that uses the word Dayan. And it's a blessing that you kind of need to know, and you need to have it on the tip of your tongue. In other words, it needs to be readily accessible, because you're supposed to say it at some of the most, at the times when you have no words to say. So say this for me. Practice saying Baruch,
Baruch,
Dayan,
Dayan.
Emet. Say it again. Baruch, Dayan, Emet.
Emet.
Those are three words. You probably know all those words. Baruch is blessed or praised. Dayan means the judge, and Emet of truth. Blessed is the judge of truth. Baruch Dayan Emet. And obviously we're talking about God. And it is the thing that you're supposed to say as soon as you hear that someone has died. The very first thing that pops out is supposed to be Baruch Dayan Emet. And I was trying to draw a connection between the judges and why it was important that Moses was reminding us that we needed judges, and why we say that. Why do we say, we tried, why do we say Baruch Dayan Emet when someone dies? And I started researching, and I don't normally do this, but I found an explanation that I thought was so beautifully said that I'm going to borrow this rabbi's words. This rabbi is Rabbi Adar, also known as, believe it or not, the coffee shop rabbi. And it says that we know the traditional response to news of death, any death, is Baruch Dayan Emet. Blessed is the judge of truth. And here are some of the reasons. If there's a ritual formula to say when I get shocking news, I'm less likely to say something inappropriate. Death is solemn, and even when it's expected, it can be a shock. People say stupid things when they're shocked. Having a script for the first few moments can be very helpful. It's one of the things that they teach you anytime you have to deal with people who have experienced a death of a loved one. There are no right words. There are no right words at all that you can say. Because if you say, at least they're not suffering, I would say, I would rather have them here and not suffering. If you say, and you mean it with all good intention, and sometimes it can be comforting, but often it winds up backfiring. The statement also acknowledges that I do not know the sum of the person's life. I am not qualified to stand in judgment upon them. By saying that only God is so qualified, I either affirm faith that God is the only true judge, or if I'm not a believer in a personal God, I acknowledge that only God, if there were such a thing, can sit in judgment. I can't. Making a statement of humility, I cannot judge, reminds me not to say something stupid with my next words. I am not a judge. If the death is tragic or inexplicable, it is a way of saying, I don't understand how this could have happened, without starting a conversation about possibilities. It keeps us away from platitudes that might get in the way of healthy grief, or other statements that might be unhelpful to the mourners. Baruch Dayan Emet. Blessed is the God of truth. The longer form of the blessing appears first in Mishnah Brachot, where it said, Blessed are you, eternal our God, ruler of the universe, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who is the true God, Dayan Emet. We're told in that Mishnah that this is a blessing to say at the reception anytime you hear any kind of bad news. Rabbi Louis Reiser teaches that this is a way of acknowledging the presence of God at a moment of high emotion when we're most overwhelmed by loss. We don't know what to say, and we say a blessing. The moment of death when no words suffice. But we human beings are relentless with our words. By providing a simple ritual of humility with many possible interpretations, Jewish tradition gives us a container for our words at a time when they can do terrible harm. There's no need to say anything more. After Baruch Dayan Emet, ultimately it says, I have no words for this. We stand with the mourner, or stand as a mourner, in the presence of the greatest mystery of life, and with these words, clear the way for the long process of grief. Baruch Dayan Emet. Blessed is the judge of truth. Twice now I have come in contact with someone who, when they lost the person that they loved, the first thing that they thought about, the thing that came to, like Virginia blurting Shema, that Shema is one of those things that it's at an important moment, people say Shema, and it's supposed to be the last thing on our lips when we die. But people who are there at the moment of death, twice now, I have heard people say that the thing that comes into mind to say is a Shehechianu. Shehechianu is a prayer that we say thanking God for having us reach, giving us life and having us reach this powerful moment. Is it appropriate to say when somebody dies? If you ask the rabbi, what should I say? I would say it's possibly the least appropriate thing to say. But if that's what you know, to be able to blurt when there's a powerful moment in front of you, and you blurt something that says this moment is filled with awe, then you say that. But I give you this line instead. Practice it so that when you need it, when you hear bad news, you say, Baruch Dayan Emet, and you'll be ready for whatever that judgment is, and you get to move on. Dr. Posner, you have some emet for us, I think.
Shabbat Shalom, y'all. Thank you, Rabbi. Those were heavy words tonight, so so I'm going to be a little lighter, as always. But I had a couple of things I'd like to say. And there's an old Jewish saying that the man surrounded by dwarfs looks like a giant. Makes sense? So, but I'm going to invert that. I feel like a dwarf because I'm surrounded by giants. And I want to say that because, as you know, this Sunday school starts. And I think of all of our teachers. I want to thank y'all very much. I think of y'all as giants, and we really appreciate all that y'all do. And I'm looking forward to another good school year. And it's going to be quite exciting. Sunday morning, Craig assures us we're going to have a wonderful breakfast. So all of you, if you're hungry, come on and join us. Thank you very much for participating in the Sunday school. Hebrews classes start Wednesday, August 26th for Bet classes, and Sunday, August the 30th for Aleph class. So we want to thank all of y'all. Next Friday night, August the 28th, please join Harriet and Mitch for a special Oneg Shabbat in honor of their special birthdays. Remember to update your Kroger B'nai Zion connection online. We get donations from Kroger every time you shop. We also now get donations from Amazon. You have to go to smile.amazon.com, select B'nai Zion Congregation in Shreveport, and it tells you how to do this. If you have problems or questions, ask the rabbi. She's our internet guru. So that's good. Also, the second thing I wanted to mention is that all of you know that I get on chat lines myself a little bit every now and then, and nothing erroneous about that. I speak to other congregation presidents, and it's amazing how right now, this time of year, most congregation presidents are pondering how, usually at the high holy days, which are fast approaching, they're asking their congregants for donations and pledges or whatever you want to call them. But I don't have to do that with you guys. The memorial books are in the mail, And y'all take care of that. And speaking of the rabbi honoring those when someone dies, what a wonderful way we do it here. Thank y'all all so much for contributing in honor of somebody that you want to memorialize in our books. It is truly an honor, and it's also very necessary that we support our congregation. And we certainly take your donations and very serious, and we thank y'all very much for contributing. Donations today were made in loving memory of Evelyn Kern by Jackie and Ron Neerman and their family, and Pauline Muroff and Ruthie Neerman. In memory of Kenneth Pittman by Jan Hirsch, and I know there are a lot of yard sites tonight, and thank y'all all for coming near and far to spend time with our congregation.
Thank you. I didn't mean to be so sad. It's kind of a blessing to know what to say sometimes. We continue on page 148, and everyone who is still in the building and is under 13, please come and join us and help us open the ark. Okay, everybody else is turning to page 148 and getting ready to stand up. Page 148, it's here somewhere. Hey, Max, come on, open the door for us, please. Open the door, and open the bottom doors too, please. Open those other doors. Open those. We need to see the little Torahs too. There you go. You want to hold one? You can, Max. Thank you. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. You can put your Torah back if you want. And when the ark is closed, all the arks are closed, you may be seated. You see what's happening here? These Bronigs and Millers, did you see this? You can close the door. Go ahead. This is part of learning Yiddish, and you learn about what kvelling means. This is really cool. Wow. Wow. To me, that's a Shechianu moment. I have to tell you, Millers and Bronigs up there opening the ark for us. We continue on page 150. The day will come when all shall turn with trust to you, O God, hearkening to your voice, bearing witness to your truth. Please join me. We pray with all our hearts. Let violence be gone. Let the day come soon when evil shall give way to goodness, when war shall be forgotten, and all at last shall live in freedom. O source of life, may we, created in your image, embrace one another in friendship and in joy. Then shall we be one family, and then shall your sovereignty be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. The eternal God will reign forever and ever. On that day, O God, you shall be one, and your name shall be one. Bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, let us meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We continue on page 153. Life is finite. Like a candle, it burns, it glows, it's radiant with warmth and beauty. Then it fades. Its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance, and our lives are full. But as night follows day, the candle of our life burns down in gutters. There's an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more seen. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives, we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. However brief may be our time on earth, O God, you endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. We now recall the loved one whom death has taken recently from us. We remember Mimi Hasi. And as we remember those who died at this season in years past, we take them into our hearts with our own. Those for whom we are remembering parents this week are Esther Nash Broadnax, Debbie Davis, and we remember those whose anniversaries of their deaths occurred this past week, which include Jenny Baker, William M. Bronick Sr., Joseph Gardspain, Benjamin Greenberg, Jesse Stark Grossman, Joseph Hafter, Abraham Heyman, Sylvia S. Katz, Helen F. Katzenstein, Evelyn Kern, William R. Law, August L. Loeb, Leah Manheim, James M. Manheim II, Kenneth Pittman, Jimmy Rosenblum, Mildred Schultz, and Louis Selber. In this moment of memory, our griefs and sympathies are mingled. Loving God, we rise as together we praise your name. The Mourner's Cottage is found on page 154. The translation is on 155. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach la'alam u'alamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei d'kudsha b'richu. La'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbichata v'nechemata. Da'amiran ba'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'imru amen. You may be seated. We are going to turn to page 159, and we are going to sing the song that is supposed to be the ultimate of closing songs, the Ein Keloheinu, because I may be wrong, but there are people here who like this one. Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Kemoshienu, Mich Eloheinu, Mich Adonenu, Mich Malkeinu, Mich Moshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu. That's good. We ended on a cheerful note. That was good. Now, anyone who's under 13 can come up and help us bless the bread. And not in dog ears. We hold on to the bottom, hold on to the bottom. Oh, wait, now I was going to do this and give you a microphone so you could sing into this thing and bless some bread. There's more grown-up bread outside. Ready? Go ahead.
Motzi lehem and haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread.
Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon. I'm going to hold on. Everybody grab. And take some to the families and the people. Take some and pass it around. Take it and pass it. Please. Thank you. There's more grown-ups bread there. Thanks still to Bethany Sorky for making all of our challah. Please rise for the closing benediction. Words can really be important. They sometimes hurt, but they can also help and heal. Use your words wisely. Like, make sure to say Shabbat Shalom to everybody before you leave. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you. May God protect you. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'kuneka. May the life of God's face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's face be lifted up to you. May God grant you peace and Shabbat Shalom.